Shabbat Shalom, giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's worthy to be praised for everything. I say hello, Yah, to his glorious and holy name. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now where I say we have no choice but to get closer to the Most High Power. He's our only hope. We as Israelites, we can look to this, that, or whatever, but the Most High is our only hope. He's the one that's going to direct whatever anyone else does. And especially the angels that's here on this earth waiting on the commandment of the Most High. As always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushai. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shama Mashiach Yahushai. So I'm going to continue on Brotherhood Love, brotherly love, however you want to look at it. But just the fact that throughout the Bible, we have to always be reminded to love each other. And it's very important because if it wasn't important, most I wouldn't continue to tell us from the beginning to the end. The beginning, Cain killed his brother Abel. You see, we've been a bunch of degenerates from the start, man. The things that have happened with us as a people, and we can't bypass it. At least I can't bypass it because I know too much of our story to know that we have to come back to caring for each other and loving each other. It's the only way we're going to get out of here. And we're going to continue on this because without it, we're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. If you're hating on your people of Israel, you're not going to make it to the kingdom. Look at Ecclesiasticus 39:1, because I've been going through this series and I've been showing you throughout the Bible how the Most High is telling us to love each other. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Our neighbor are the Israelites. It tells you that in Leviticus 19:1-2 and 17-18. Love thy neighbor as thyself. He's telling us first and foremost we got to love each other. Shalom. Marakat. We got to love each other. And if we don't love each other, then who's going to love us? Nobody love us. So we don't love each other. We're not loved by ourselves or anyone, really. So let's look at Ecclesiasticus 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High. See, that's very important. If you're giving your mind to the law of the Most High. See, a lot of times, and people don't really like the word law. That bothers people. Commandments, they can kind of get by that. But when you say law, that bothers a lot of people. They can't really handle, giving their mind to the law of the Most High. That's why we have to look at it for what it is. I mean, Deuteronomy 9:10. You got to see this because people just do not want to deal with and believe in the Most High. And I say that truthfully because, look, Deuteronomy 9:10, and the Most High, who just say you're supposed to put your mind on his laws, the Most High delivered unto me, that me is Moses, 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of the Most High. And on them was written according to all the words which the Most High spake with you. The you is the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. You see? So these laws that we're supposed to keep our mind on are written by the Most High's finger. So if you don't want to keep his laws that he wrote with his finger, any of you giving him your middle finger. Straight up. Going back to Ecclesiasticus 39:1, it says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom, which is the proper application of how you apply knowledge, which is gathering of information, the right information of all the ancient. Hear that? Of all the ancient. But when we look at reading the Bible, we that's living now, everybody that we read about in the Bible is ancient. And be occupied in prophecies and speaking on what's going to happen in the future. That's prophecy. Or what they said was going to happen, and we can relate to it already happened or it's going to happen in the future. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men. And where subtle parables are, he will be there also. You know, riddles that are unexplainable, he's going to be there too, trying to find them out. He will seek out the secrets of gray sentences and be conversing in dark parables. You know, these are mysteries that's been hidden in the Most High. And why do we have to have dark parables and subtle parables? Parables that's like really sneaky, really crafty, really cunning. Why we have to have that if you want everybody to be saved? You see, it wouldn't be that way. It would not be that way. If everybody was supposed to read it and get this, it wouldn't be that way. You see? Shabbat Shalom, Mimi. You know, it's all to the glory of the Most High and the work that he have done. And everybody else that's online. I don't know who else online. Anybody, I see that's on in texting me. So you see that? It says, he shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he have tried the good and the evil among men. And that's what the laws of the Most High, when he told you first. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, you give your mind to the law of the Most High, you're going to be able to accomplish the things that's written here. Because you have experience in trying the good and the evil. And that's what we do when we look at representing Mashiach Yahushai on the street. When we deal with the same thing he dealt with. They always got questions for us. But when we ask them questions, break this down, they can't do it. They don't do it. You see? And it's very important that you understand your calling. Because you've been called. If you've been able to come to class and start to learn, then you got to look at, like you just said, inquire the ancients. Not only the ancients in the Bible, but the ancients that have been in this truth and know the curriculum that the Most High have set up, that you can know. What if a Mashiach come back and say, ask you, can you do the Our Father prayer? Ask you how long you've been in the truth. Can you do it in Hebrew? And you've been in the truth for years and years and years and years, and you see it being done, and you don't even know how to do it. Do you know the alphabet by heart? These are things you got to consider. Think on that. I'll be back in just a moment. mean, what if he asks you, how much do you really care about learning the truth of what the ancients have learned? And you limit it. It's like, how much do you really, really want to know? What if it's like limited of what you actually get? Which it is, very limited. But it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. A whole lot to learn. Um, Look at Job 8 and 8. Job 8 and 8. That's why I did the lesson on respect the elders. It says, Job 8 and 8, it says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. You know? So when you understand how you say, inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, you wasn't there to know how the former age was, how it was for us learning all the things that we learned. We learned so much. I mean, there's so much to learn that nobody should be bored. You see? Shabbat Shalom. Judo Dixon. Welcome. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm trying to Jodo. I don't know. It's Jodo. Welcome. Shabbat Shalom. It's so much to learn. I'm saying, it's a vast amount of information to learn. Whereas if you just looking at your knowledge, which understanding is coming whenever you come to class, or you look at whatever I'm bringing out, you know, that's the extent of what your knowledge is when I'm doing scripture breakdown. Like the history, a lot of history and archaeology and things of that nature that I'm not covering online, or breakdowns like Revelation, the first chapter to the 22nd chapter, Daniel's the first chapter to the 12th chapter, the books of Ezra, you know, the understanding of those mysteries that's hid, that you can't just open up the book and understand. You have to be taught. It's very important, because that's why I said, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age. And not only the former age of our ancestors that's in the Bible, but the former age of your time, that, I inform myself of the former age, knowing who it was that I allowed to be over me, to learn what I learned. And I appreciate it so much, because it's vast information that we know that the world doesn't know. The world is not really teaching what we're teaching as Israelites. You can see that, you know? So you got to want to know more. That's why we know what we know, because we wanted to know more. Generations now is just, y'all just satisfied with think whatever it is that you got gonna get you to the kingdom. When we took time to learn, hour after hour after hour after hour after hour, consistently, every day, we was involved in doing the truth, and being involved with, learning more. Then you have tests, it's just like school. But here it's like, I don't know, it's like a slothful. I don't want to call it necessarily slothful, but it could be, looked at that. When I look at, if I have something to compare, you know what I mean? I have something to compare. Everybody of old has something to compare, and those that are actually operating as it was of old, they're growing. They're growing. And that's what it takes, man. For inquire, pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. It says, but we are but of yesterday. Same people that was of yesterday, man. Just back here again and know nothing. Because our days upon earth are a shadow. Hear that? So even what we learn is nothing compared to what we gonna learn in the 1,000 years of my shadow Shai gonna teach us. And how you gonna make it there if you hating on your brother, you don't like somebody, you sitting around all day long griping and grieving about someone that you don't like, and that's not cool. And you got to be able to learn to take correction. You're gonna be a real man. You're gonna be really dealing with this brotherly love, because that makes you a better man. Some things we might not see of ourselves. Take someone else to tell us. You know, it says, "Shall not they teach thee? Shall not you be taught? And tell thee?" In other words, out of their heart, out of their mind, they're gonna. This is what's gonna happen. Especially when you deal with a lot of counseling all your life. Shoot, you know a lot of different things from the world, carnal and the spiritual. Shoot. Going back to Ecclesiasticus 39, it says, verse 5, he will give his heart, which is his mind, to resort early to the Most High that made him. And resort to the Most High early in the morning, who made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins and for other sins. You know, we got to pray for each other a lot of times. It's necessary. I say all the time, really. When you hear me say, call Yasharallah, that's all Yasharallah, all 12 tribes. And go to the book of James, the 5th chapter. Verse 16. James 5 and 16. It says, confess your faults one to another. It says, confess your faults one to another. I'll read it again. It says, confess your faults one to another. So we're supposed to confess our faults one to another and pray one for another. And we got to pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual prayer, the affectional, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. You see. So when you look at, we all have faults, you know, one way or another. You know, I don't think I've met anyone that can say that they really perfect. We're working, you know, toward that, but you can say whatever. But then when the book is closed and you come up short of the glory of the Most High, because you have sinned, then you got to confess that. You can't hold that in, because there you go, check against you, against us, against me, you, whoever. Well, it says, hey, some people are sick and they don't realize it. Look at verse 14. It says, is any sick among you? He said, let them call for the elders of the church. And we, the church, we call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil and by some of my shot in the name of the anointed Savior. That's what he said. I remember, you know, I was sick, and I went to the elders. And I was general. We had our general meeting in New York, and I went to the elder, and I said, "Yeah, man, the scripture says, any of you sick, and I'm sick right now. Among you, say, let them call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil by Shalom Mashiach Yahushua, right?" Yeah. Okay, well, know everybody. We know that we all sick. Everybody's sick. I'm the only one stood up and said I was sick. He anointed everybody. I was like, wow. So whoever had those sicknesses that didn't want to admit it, they got anointed too. That's why it says in 13, is any among you afflicted? Let them pray. Is any married? Let them sing psalms. Is any sick among you? Let them call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil by Shalom Mashiach Yahushua. Saying the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Most High shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. That powerful? That powerful? So if you have committed sins, he say they shall be forgiven you. That's powerful. That's why I say confess your faults one to another. You can't be afraid to admit that you off. You know, y'all hear me? If you go hear my lessons, I'll be saying, yeah, I was off this way. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this right. I did this right, but I did things wrong. You know, still, we learning and living and applying this in our life. Nobody's, won't make a mistake, They make a mistake, then you don't have to just, you gotta have mercy. That's why this brotherly love had to be taught. Because of the fact of, brothers don't know how to have mercy on no one but someone that's around them. You're still my brother. Even though you're not with me, you're still my brother, you're still my sister. That's how I think. Elijah was a man subject to like passions as we are. And he prayed earnestly that it might not rain. And it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. Elijah was taken up in the chair. He didn't have to die like everybody else. But he prayed. He was subject like passions like all of us are. And he prayed earnestly that it might not rain. And it rained not on the earth for the space of 3.5 years, straight up. And he prayed again. And the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit. Say, brother, if any of you do err from the truth. And we know what the truth is, class, right? Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Any of you err from the laws and the commandments of the Most High, and one convert him, you know. But see, how do you know if you're erring if your sin is secret? You in sin, but it's a secret. Somebody need to hear this. Say, brother, if either you do err from the truth, from the laws of the Most High, and one convert him, you tell him what's right, you teach him what's right, let him know that he was converted the sinner from the error of his way. We know sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws. Where we at in the New Testament? The same New Testament, they say we ain't under the law that they read, right? Come on. Sin is defined in 1 John 3 and 4. It's the transgression of the Most High's laws that he wrote with his finger. That's giving the Most High the middle finger to say you ain't got to do what he say do. You ain't got to follow him. Come on. Let him know that he was converted the sinner from the error of his way, shall save a soul from death. You hear that? Save a soul from death. The Most High come through and kill you. You save that soul from death. You convert him through the law of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High, what's right and from wrong. You say, and shall hide a multitude of sins. Hear that? Hide a multitude of sins, of your own sins. It's beneficial. That's what he's telling you. But you have to be, you cannot be closed minded where you think that because it makes you look like you're justified before the Most High. And that you perfect. You got it all together. Mashallah saying, I got to come back and teach you, or whoever it is. And if you don't do it, then it's sin, isn't it? Isn't it sin? If you don't do what he say do, isn't that sin? I mean, let's go back to Ecclesiastes 39. Verse 5, it says, he will give his heart, which is his mind, the way he think, his thoughts, to resort early to the Most High that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer, and make supplication for his sins. You hear that? Cry out to the Most High. The supplication is crying out to the Most High for your sins. When the great Most High will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto the Most High in his prayer to water your heart. You're going to be saying to water, Most High, thank you, Most High. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secrets shall he meditate. But how you going to know the secrets if you really caught up in just yourself? You're not even caught up in the Most High. You ain't really trying to find out the mysteries that been hidden in the Most High. You ain't asking for direction. You already got the direction. You already got enough to be saved from your enemies and from the hand of all that hate you. When he's giving you clear directions, clear instructions, you got to think about it, because these are last days. These are very last days, and you got a choice. Choose life or death. That's it. It's getting closer and closer and closer. It says, verse 8, it says, he shall show forth that which he have learned. He shall show forth that which he have learned. So who taught you? To learn something, somebody have to teach you something. So if you're satisfied with what you have and the end starts, I don't know, they talk about you know, marching tomorrow in 50 states, together. So things are being organized for something to jump off. And they jump off, and you look at, they always start with the poor first. They're going to deal with the poor. You know, poor is insignificant to the rich, because they already have a problem. Billionaires got a problem with millionaires. Trillionaires got a problem with billionaires. I mean, they got a problem with each category of financial, status in this world. So they definitely don't care nothing about the poor. And they're the ones that's crying out the most. They're the ones that's being dealt with. So it's on. So if you don't really look at how you should be in trying to know more in these last days, because there might be a time when the book is closed forever. And it's about operating what you do know. And if you don't have enough known, then hey, what can I say? Shabbat Shalom, Johanna. You know, what you gonna do? You gonna operate the way you always gonna go back. Only thing you can do is go back to who you were in the past. If you don't know how you got to deal with what the future says and what you got to deal with for what the Most High have lined up for us, then what does it say? He shall show forth that which he have learned. So you got to show forth what you have learned. Come down to it. That's all you have, is to show forth what you have learned. those that are of ancient, those that like myself and those that are of ancient, gonna show forth what we have learned and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Most High. Gonna glory, you hear that? Gonna glory in the law that the Most High wrote with his finger, the work of the Most High. But if not, then you're gonna still be dealing with this world. What you gonna follow with somebody that's not in the truth, that's around you, that's telling you what to do, telling you this, that, and the third, suggesting this, suggesting that? You gonna follow that? What do you have to follow? How much have you learned when that time comes? Because that's all it's gonna be. I mean, don't get it twisted. Ain't nothing new under the sun. When you go back and read the Bible, you read when the Greeks came to they took the Bible away. They burned them up. So what do you think? Everything is against us. Everything is against us. Point blank. Look at it however you want to. It's gonna end up to be us. Coming down to us. Because we got next forever and ever and ever. That's the Israelites. So no matter how you look at it, you gotta be ready, man. You gotta always be ready. For whatever. Trust and believe this. It says, many shall commend his understanding. And so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His understanding. Those that's meditating on the law of the Most High, applying it in their life. His memorial shall not depart away. Meaning after he gone, he's going to still be standing. And his name shall live from generation to generation. You see? You gotta understand this. It's like, it's a lot to learn, a lot to take in. And when you look at it's limited, what you desire, then how do you think the Most High feel? Because most people talk about their own life. They talk about whatever's going on in their life. They don't talk about, they ain't ask no questions. It ain't no history. Ain't nothing being taught. At least in my world, sorry. Except for what it is that you're learning now. So whatever it is that I deem for the Spirit of the Most High to bring forth, that's all you got. That's all you getting. And there's so much to learn, you know. Nation shall show forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. If he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000. You know? If he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000. And if he live, he shall increase it. You know? He's going to increase in wisdom. It's very important, you know. Let's go to Romans, the 12th chapter. Verse 1, start at verse 1. It's very important that we look at this, and it's giving us clear instructions of what you have to do, especially when you look at what we of old have went through to be able to bring to you what it is that we're bringing to you in these last days. It's a lot to learn. Romans 12 and 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, mercies of the Most High. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve to get. Mercy is not getting something that you do deserve to get. Grace is getting something that you don't deserve to get, no matter what anybody else want to say that it means in the crisp insanity or whatever they're dealing with, and trying to come up with a definition of what it means. That's the best definition I've heard. I learned, live it, and apply it in my life. That's why I'm giving it to you. Mercy is what? Not getting something that you do deserve to get. And grace is getting something that you don't deserve to get. Okay? I beseech you, therefore, brethren, who are the Israelites, by the mercies of the Most High, mercies. Many a times you didn't get what you deserved to get. Many a times we didn't get what we deserved to get. that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. You got to present your bodies, our bodies, a living sacrifice. That means you're giving up something that you would like to do. You got to give something up. If it's going to be a living sacrifice, you got to give something up, y'all. Holy. Now we know what holy is. Go back to Romans 7 and 12. That's why I gave y'all definitions of these words. It's very important. So when you see them, then you can really relate to, okay, this is what it means. And it's defined itself in the scripture rather than going to any other source to be able to define these words. What better place to define the words than in the scriptures? So it says we got to present our body as a living sacrifice, right? First word it says holy. Holy is defined right here in Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore, the law is holy. The law that we read about in Deuteronomy 9 and 10, that the Most High wrote with his finger, the law is holy. And the commandment holy. The same commandment that the Most High wrote with his finger is holy and just and good, right? So now when you go back to, he said that in Romans 7 and 12. So why now he's giving you another means to be able to define that word holy in Romans 12 and 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, who are the Israelites, because Paul is who? He told you in chapter before that, in verse 1, Romans 11 and 1, he defined himself. He said, I say then, that the Most High cast away his people, we the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, Most High forbid, because we here now. It says, for I also am an Israelite. He didn't say no Christian insanity. He didn't say he's dealing with no religion. He said, I am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. He was a Benjamite. Banyanyam. He said, hey, the Most High have not cast away his people, which he foreknew. See? Here we are. That's why it says, Romans 12 and 1, I beseech you therefore, brethren, who are the Israelites, by the mercies of the Most High, not getting something that you deserve to get many times, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. Okay, he didn't give you that judgment many a times. That's why he say we're supposed to present our bodies a living sacrifice. Didn't my sacrifice present this body a living sacrifice? Yes. Holy, keeping the laws and commandments of the Most High, acceptable unto the Most High. That's how you be acceptable to the Most High. Doing what he say do, keeping his laws and his statutes and the commandments, which is your reasonable service, it said. You know, this is our reasonable service to do what he say do. Masha said in St. John 14:15, what did he say? He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Come on. You say it's your reasonable service to the Most High to do what he say do. But what we do, we've always broken the laws of the Most High. We always broke the commandments of the Most High. Therefore, we suffered. We suffered. Because we didn't want to do what he wanted us to do, told us to do. Every single time. And so, continuing on, it says, and be not conformed to this world. So don't be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, the way you think. You got to start thinking different. The renewing of your mind. And this is what I look at. Okay, well, people are a certain way, and they say, when you hear them say, I've been this way all my life, and you call yourself being in the truth, you're not in the truth yet. You're not in the truth yet. Because renewing of your mind to transform, you got transform, meaning you changing. Transforming by the renewing of your mind. You renew your mind by looking at what's right according to the scriptures, according to what you could be taught in counsel, to how you've been, programmed to be deprogrammed from where you've been programmed, so you can actually operate in the proper way spiritually with the Most High. That's why I say The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him how? In spirit and in truth. That spirit part, a lot of people miss because you're dealing with the flesh, you're dealing with lust, you're dealing with all the things that this world offers you to be at war with the Most High, to be the enemy of the Most High, and don't even realize it. And just dealing with your emotions and your feelings and all that's against the Most High. He ain't dealing with that. You think he care about how we feel? Our emotions? He wants us to do what he say do. You can be happy with us. Other than that, man, it's gonna take a lot. We really, 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 really offended the Most High. And we really, really, really offending the Most High. Most people don't even talk about him. You think about that. Meditate on that. Bing, bing, y'all leave. Because they ain't talking about Israel. Ain't talking about people. Our people just care about themselves. They don't care about the Most High. People don't care about us. That's why people don't care about us. We don't care about our maker, our creator enough, I say. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Show me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Somebody, even his name even coming out of their mouth. Where that's at? Look at the news. He's El Nino, La Nina. Who really care? Who really, really care? Where you at in your conversation? Except for what he's done for you and what you want him to do for you. What you gonna do for him? And do what he say do. That's why I say, be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind got to change. That you may prove what is that good. And we know what's good. We just read it in Romans 7 and 12. The commandments, the law of the Most High, doing them make you good. Doing what's good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Because he told you in James 4 and 4, look, I'm saying it, I want to prove it. I don't like saying you can't prove it. James 4 and 4. James, the 4th chapter, the 4th verse. Yeah. Understand this. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You all into this world, man? He said you at war with the Most High. You hear that? The friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High. I mean, you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You hear that? Hebrews 10:31. Hebrews 10:31. You want to be at war with the Most High? I don't think so. I don't think you want to do that. Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. So if that fearful don't mean to be afraid, to be scared, what does it mean? I notice how when I start talking about the Most High, a lot of people leave. They leave. It's very noticeable. That's why I say it don't matter if you're an Israelite or not, or you trying to learn this or not. You're going to find out when that judgment comes. Oh, you didn't want to hear about me? You heard what it just said? It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Most High. Look at Wisdom of Solomon 16:15. They can leave, or you can leave, or anyone can leave. Bing, they're gone, right? A lot of people left, really, seriously. Wisdom of Solomon 16:15. Understand this for you that's still here. It said, but it is not possible to escape thine hand. You hear that? But you that's still listening, he said in Wisdom of Solomon 16:15, but it is not possible to escape thine hand. For the unrighteous that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm with strange rains, hails, and showers. What you gonna do when this visit you? Of them that don't want to hear about the Most High, where they persecuted, that they could not avoid, and through fire. You know, he fired from his waist up, fired from his waist down, were they consumed. Because he's a consuming fire. You see? That's who I'm talking about. Hmm. But people want to find another way. They don't, all they care about is I noticed that, you know, and it's sad because you can develop this way that you think is right from the way you look at people bringing whatever they're bringing out in the truth. You know, we know in part and prophesy in part, but this part is the most important part. I don't care. Make it mean something different. Make it be more important than the Most High. What is more important than the Most High? Hmm? Think about it. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. He said you can't escape his hand. Nobody can escape his hand. And y'all give a like and subscribe to the channels and just keep it moving. You see? So James 4:4, but hear what it's saying. You adulterers and adulteresses, you men that are adulterers and you are women that are adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Don't you know that you at war with the Most High? When you a friend of this world, he separated us from the world. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You hear that? That make you the enemy of the Most High. So you see, okay, well, your people or your family, your friends, your associates, whoever, you say they all into the world, and you know, they don't want to hear nothing about the truth. They want to hear about the Most High first and foremost. They don't talk about the Most High, definitely, because most Israelites they talk about the Most High enough, as I'm saying to you at this point, this day, you know. So he's not. I mean, you got to think about it. He the only one gonna bring salvation on this earth, righteousness on this earth, and he's not talked about enough. What do you think he's gonna do? That's why he told us in Revelation 18:4. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Most High said, "What? Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins." That's why you can't be no friend of this world. So you don't want to be partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. These plagues are coming, y'all. What you gonna do when they come for you? Hebrews 11 and 23. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. That's the Most High. You know, you can't be wavering, y'all. You can't be this way, wishy-washy, this way, that way, you know, when the book is closed, you know, because he told you in uh James, go to you wavering this way, that way. Go to James, the first chapter, um, in verse 6. Let's look at verse 5. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, you lack how to apply the knowledge in your life, which is wisdom, the proper application of knowledge. Knowledge is the gathering of the right information. Let them ask of the Most High. Ask of the Most High when you pray. Ask the Most High to give you wisdom. That giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Con. So it says, but let him ask in faith, believing, that you're going to receive it. Nothing wavering. When you say nothing wavering, I mean you can't be, you know, doubtful. Great identity of wavering. Doubtful. You believe, but you don't believe. You're not sure. Nothing wavering. For he that waver is like a wave of the sea. You this way, you that way. You're not the same. You know, driven with the wind and tossed, right? It said, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Most High. You hear that? Said, let not that man think he gonna receive anything of the Most High. So I ain't coming. You can pray all you want to. You wavering? He said, you ain't gonna receive nothing of the Most High. Your prayers are not gonna be answered. That's what he said. You praying for nothing. What he said. For if you wavering, tossing the few this way, that way, whatever way you go, whatever the wind blows. That's how whoever you dealing with, that's how you're gonna deal with the way they are. They not in the truth. You dealing with somebody that ain't in the truth, and now you in the world. You said you at war with them. I make you be at war with the Most High. You forgot about that. Then he said, "Hey, you all friends in the world dealing with the world." He said, "Come out of her. That you don't receive her pledge, you're gonna receive it." That's why we here. He said, "Hey, but let not that man or woman think that he shall receive anything of the Most High. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." You see, so that's why we have to look at, doing the right thing and following the right thing, or we're gonna be caught up, you know, and not understanding what it is that we have to do and coming out of the ways of this world. We can't be caught up in the ways of this world because the world will send you straight to damnation, man. That was Hebrews 10 and 21, 23. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. You see, love and good works. And say, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as we are able to assemble ourselves together online now, as the manner of some is, because some people don't want to come together. And they come in and they leave. Poop. They hear something they don't like, poop, or they don't like, whatever they're hearing. It's not something that, pleases their spirit. Like I said, but you can't run from the Most High. You can't, nobody can hide from him. You can't run from the sky. And he said he's gonna do. He said the heaven of heavens can't contain him. So he's everywhere. He's seeing everything. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together as matter of some is, but exhorting one another. How you exhort one another? You be around each other. You communicate with each other. And so much the more, say, exhort each other more as you see the day approaching. But if we sin willfully, you know what's right and you do what's wrong. After that, we have received the knowledge of the truth. The truth is the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High. And what we read in this Bible is the truth. His word is truth. You know what I mean? Because you don't say, and you don't find the Most High saying, maybe you could do this or try this. You don't see those words in the Bible. It's direct commandments telling us what to do, period. He said, for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. Meaning the Mashiach not going to the Most High on your behalf. He not no mediator between you and the Most High, or me and the Most High, or anybody in the Most High that know what's right and do what's wrong. That's why we have to learn it, live it, and apply it in our life. You know, and sometimes it's a living sacrifice that you gotta look at being spiritual rather than being carnal. Let your emotions deal, or how your feelings and how you dealing with your lust override your feelings of the spirit of what this word is talking about. But a fearful, but a certain fearful. That means being scared, y'all. Being afraid, because y'all think fear of the Most High don't mean being afraid. Don't be scared of him, but a certain fearful, looking for the of judgment and fiery indignation. That means you're gonna be burning people up, crispy, straight up, burnt, fiery indignation. That judgment that's coming, which shall devour the adversaries. And you become the adversaries when you, the enemies of the Most High, when you don't do what he say do. That's simple. Simple as that. Now let's go to Hebrews 11:23. By faith, Hebrews 11:23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were afraid of the king's commandment. So they didn't fear the king's commandment. That afraid don't mean they feared the kings, right? For all you that say that fear the Most High don't mean to be afraid and be scared of them, right? They say they were afraid of the king's commandment, killing all the babies 2 years old and under. Hmm? By faith, and we define faith in verse 1. Anybody know what faith means? Faith is defined in Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, that's the definition of faith right there, according to the Bible. We can't get no clearer than that. I mean, that's what we got to go by, right? So now it says, verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, knowing that he was an Israelite. He refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High, because he was of the tribe of Levi, an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that to be enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Hear that? You gotta look at it. Rather than, maintaining his loyalty and his nobility in Egyptian worlds with Pharaoh and Pharaoh's daughter, so-called being his mother, he rather had say, I'm not enjoying the pleasures of sin for a season. You see? Because they don't, Most High give them the laws. They didn't have the laws. Most High was using Pharaoh to make him a name. Like he gonna use this world to make him a name. No matter what you see on this earth, when the Most High show up and he have a Mashiach show up, the judge that make war, he gonna be all in all forever and ever and ever. Ain't gonna be no more Mother Nature. You're gonna never hear no global warming. You're gonna never hear no El Nino. You're gonna never hear no La Nina ever again. You're gonna know that it's the Most High. He said that. And you shall know that I am the Most High. And you all gonna know. Especially you that calling him some other, your own name for what he's doing. And you better esteeming the reproach of Mashiach greater riches than the treasure in Egypt. You hear that? Esteeming the reproach, the disgrace of a Mashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. He had this, look, let me show you what he had. Go to First Peter. Why you think it say esteeming the reproach of a Mashiach? Why you think it's saying that? Mashiach was in Egyptian captivity. Hmm? Why he says that? Because First Peter 1:10. Of which salvation, which is power, rulership, and authority. That's salvation. The prophets, and Moses was the strong prophet, wasn't he? Have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace, which is getting something you don't deserve to get, that should come unto you, to come unto us. We live in today. We under grace and mercy, the Israelites, because grace and mercy is to his saints, and the saints are the 12 tribes of Israel. Searching what? These are prophets. Searching what or what manner of time the spirit of a Mashiach, Listen at this closely. The spirit of a Mashiach, which was in them. You hear that? The spirit of a Mashiach, which was in them. In who? The prophets, like Moses. Did signify when it testified beforehand the sufferings. That's why I said the reproach, the disgrace, the sufferings of a Mashiach, and the glory that should follow. And he prayed for that glory. He received that glory. He gonna receive the glory that nobody can understand beyond imagination till he come back and tell us about it. As we see it for ourselves, most I will. That's what this is all about. That's why you hear what Moses said in Hebrews 11:26, esteeming the reproach of a Mashiach greater riches than the treasures of Egypt. You hear that? The disgrace of them, what Mashiach went through, the sufferings that he went through, greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. That's right. And by faith, believing in the Most High, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king. For he endured. He endured. As seeing him who is invisible. Read it again. By faith, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, because the king was, like I said, was going to kill him. For he endured, as seeing him who is invisible, seeing him who is the Most High, who is invisible. You know, it's beautiful, man. That's what we got to be. These are examples, like I say, require of our ancestors, the ancients. We looking at them, man. Going back to Romans 12. Go back to Romans, the 12th chapter. Verse 2. It said, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, the way you think. You got to start thinking different. That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. And that's to do what he say do. Follow his commandments. 1 John 5:3. But this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. But as we have many members in one body, many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. You see? So like y'all. Let me read verse 3. Salakia. For I say, through the grace, which is getting something you don't deserve to get, given unto me, Paul, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. You hear that? Don't be prideful. Don't think you all that. He said, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. Don't think you all that. Don't be, you know, don't be thinking you all that. Don't be prideful, he said. But to think soberly, according as the Most High have dealt to every man a measure of faith. You know, you got to be focused, man. So every man have a certain measure of faith, and you want to build your faith up more and more. I'm hearing something. You want to build up your faith more and more and more. You know, and your faith could be built up through others' faith also. If you believe, you know, First thing my side told us in Mark 11:22, have faith in the Most High. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. Everybody's not going to do the same thing. So we, being many, are one body, Bashama Mashiach Yahushua, in a Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior. And every one members one of another. You see, we members one of another. We need each other. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. We have different different gifts that's different one from another, but they all come together to work as in one body for our nation. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith that the Most High has given you to believe in yourself to be able to prophesy, learning what the future is going to be. Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering. Or he that teaches on teaching. See, this is different parts of the body that's going to do different things. Everybody's not going to do the same thing. But then, you come in the truth and people be like, thinking that you got to do the same thing. Everybody's not going to do the same thing. Or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. That's something, it's I want to, concentrate on that mercy. Remember the Most High said, remember what he said in verse 1, just in case you forgot. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies, plural, of the Most High. So now the Most High giving us mercies, which is not giving something you do deserve to get many a times over. And here it is, he just telling us, give mercy. He that showeth mercy, not giving someone something that you think they need to get. He said, with cheerfulness. That's like he said in Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Ecclesiastes 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So he's saying, hey, he's telling us. He said, he that showeth, verse 8 of Romans 12 chapter, say, he that showeth mercy, meaning not giving someone something that they do deserve to get, with cheerfulness. That takes a certain spirit to do this. You give them mercy, but then you cuss them out. You just go off and just you almost want to beat them down, but that's not mercy. He said, do it with cheerfulness. This is the change. I say, they told us in verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing of your mind, what you think. You see? Very important. Romans 12 and 9 said, let love be without dissimulation. Abhor, meaning hate that which is evil. You have a right to hate that which is evil, and people look at you like something's wrong with you because you don't like certain things. It vexes you. It said, hate that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. And we know what's good. Most High is good, first and foremost. And his laws, statutes, commandments are good. His laws and commandments are good. Come on. Cleave to that which is good. It's simple. Don't take a rocket science to understand this. It says, be kindly affectionate one to another. What's wrong with that? Say, be kind to each other. I hear this noise. I don't have anything on. Can y'all hear that noise? Anybody hear that noise? Give me a con if you can hear that noise. It's like a horn sound. It says, verse 10 says, be kindly affecting one to another with brotherly love. That's what we're talking about here. Clear as day. Brotherhood love. Brotherly love. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. In honor, preferring one another. In honor, preferring one another. You know, I remember times where, did y'all hear that? It went do, 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 do. Nobody's answering. Nobody really paying attention though. Anyway, it said, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. That's our topic. Brotherly love, y'all. In honor, preferring one another. That's why I say you got to renew your mind so you can stop dealing with the way this world would have us, you know, through the witty links, you know, not like each other, not hate, you know, hate on each other. Not getting along, looking for something wrong with someone instead of looking at the wrong and correcting it so they could be better. They could be made better. The water, I hear it here. The water. And welcome everyone. It says you got to prefer one another too. We have. So what's wrong with preferring? I'd rather prefer you as my brother, prefer you as an Israelite, my sister, my brother, you know, because we have deferred from each other too long. It's gonna come a time when you're not gonna have no one to depend on but us. You're gonna find out that nobody care about us. And those that realize we get ready to be on top, then they're gonna be trying to gravitate to us. They're gonna cleave to us. We tell you they're gonna cleave to us. 10 men gonna take hold the skirt of him that is a Jew and say, we're gonna go with you because we know the most high with you. That's the future. That's prophecy. They're gonna have to do that. And they have to learn what we're teaching. Period. If they want to go to the kingdom. If not, then hey, they're gonna be crispy. You're gonna burn them up. It says, not slothful in business. I love this. Say, not slothful in business. You know, being lazy. Got a lot of business we got to take care of. Fervent in spirit, serving the Most High, rejoicing in hope, which is your faith in the Most High, patient in tribulation. Not how many people that ran tribulation happened. They ran. They was, where you gonna run to? Where you gonna run? He said, you can't hide from the Most High. Where you running to? Ain't nowhere to run. You buckle down and be more in this truth, man. Patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Pray without ceasing, he said. Keep on praying. Distributing to the necessity of saints. That's what the essays were about. Mashiach that was signed, the apostles and all of them were about. Distributing to the necessities of saints. Those you have a need, and we make sure we there for each other. We're the saints, children of Israel. Given to hospitality, you know, being hospitable. Bless them which persecute you of the Israelites. Bless and curse not, it said. Bless them that persecute you of the Israelites. Bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice. They happy. Some great happening in their life. Be happy for our people. That's why it's renewing of your mind. See, everybody now, they jealous of someone. Jealous and envy of. For what? For what? Be happy for our people, man. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not, he said. Rejoice with them that do rejoice. And weep with them that weep. You know, rejoice, be happy with them that rejoice, and weep, you know, be sad with them that are weeping. That's sad. Let them feel that you care. That's what this is all about. Otherwise, you just all about yourself. You don't care about nobody but yourself. And the most I know, it's been written in the books, I know that. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Condescend to men of low estate. Those that are, down, that don't feel like they worthy. You build them up. Be not wise in your own conceit. You so brainiac. You know in part, prophesy in part, all of us. Don't nobody know it all. That's what he's telling you, man. That's why I tell you in 1 Corinthians 1 and 10, 1 Corinthians 1 and 10, it says, now I beseech you, brethren, which are the Israelites, by Shalom Mashiach Yahushai, that ye all speak the same thing. That we all speak the same thing. And that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. You see, we got to be speaking the same thing. And all we're going to speak the same thing is you learn, live it, and apply it in your life, what is being taught. Otherwise, you're going to be offensive. You're going to be, people not going to want to hear what you got to say. Romans 16:17. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. You hear that? So now I beseech you, brethren, Israelites, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary. It said contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. You have a right to avoid people. You know why? For they that are such serve not our power of Mashiach Yahushua. They don't serve a Mashiach Yahushua, but their own belly. They're looking to be somebody in this damn nation. Their own belly. And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. Good words, they speak very well, you know. Speak, have great words, They go into a lot of words of understanding and so forth, but they deceive the hearts of the simple, the minds of the simple. Well, we have to look at, everything in its right perspective to be able to know how things are in this world, because it tell you in 2 Timothy 3 and 5, it tell you, well, let's read verse 1. 2 Timothy 3 and 1 say, this know also that in the last days, that we're in the last days right now, perilous, dangerous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. Just like I said. They serve their own belly. They're looking to be somebody. Men are going to be lovers of their own selves. Covetous, desire something that somebody else has. Boasters, bragging about this, that, and the third about themselves. Proud. What the Most High is, tell me that you're going to be talking about the Most High when you like this. Boasters, bragging all the time, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, not keeping the laws of the Most High, unthankful, don't know how to say thank you. You do something great for someone or someone, it don't matter what it is. That's just moral laws. Unthankful, meaning they don't know how to say thank you. These are the way it's going to be. It's dangerous times. They're going to find themselves in danger. You fit into all these here, you're going to find yourself in danger one way or another. You think you walk in the spirit? No. Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. See that? This brotherly love, man. This brotherhood without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, lying on people. You say you're going to do something, don't do it. incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, despisers of those that are keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Well, we have to deal with all the time. People are against us. We say and keep the laws of the Most High. They despise us for trying to keep the laws of the Most High. Traitors, you know, people down with you. You don't know if they're going to be down with you or not. How long they're going to be down with you. Traitors go against you. Like they say, everybody got their price, and your price is a sellout. Heady, high-minded, that's pride. Prideful. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. You're lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. That's real right there. Most High, look at the Most High day, the Sabbath day. They say you can have sexual intercourse on the Sabbath day. Lover of pleasures more than lover of the Most High, right? Look what the Most High said. Isaiah 58:13. Since that's coming out, listen what it say. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my, that's the Most High, that's the my holy day. And that's the Most High's weekly Sabbath and his holy convocations, his feast days are Sabbaths. The first day and the last day are Sabbaths. It says, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. And call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him. You know what he say? We will be honoring the Most High. Not doing thine own ways, not doing what you want to do. This is a sacrifice. Let your bodies be a living sacrifice. Not doing thine own ways. Like tonight is the Sabbath. We're not doing our own ways. We in this word. All that hear my voice. Hopefully you'll stay. And shall honor him. We honor the Most High. Not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure. Hear that? We got to deal with that. He said it twice in the scripture. Nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, right? So what's this pleasure? Let's look at this pleasure. Something about this pleasure that stands out because, you know, you got people saying that you can have sexual intercourse on the Sabbath day, coming to the church and, you know, sit down amongst your brothers and sisters and you done had sex that day. Let's see if that's real. Ecclesiastes 25 and 21. You know they're doing it. You know they're doing that for real. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, men. So don't stumble at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. What do you think that pleasure mean? Huh? Talk to me. What do you think that pleasure mean? If it don't mean don't desire, if she's a beautiful woman, don't desire her for what? To have sex with her, to have sexual intercourse with her. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman. It say, and desire her not for pleasure. That's what the Most High is saying. He said, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. Come on. You better understand. Let's look at that. Okay. Let's go to Leviticus, the 15th chapter. Let's go to the law. Let's see if we can find something concerning this. Let's see. Leviticus, the 15th chapter. And let's start at verse 16. Let's see what it says here. Now, we're talking about a man having sex with a woman, right? It's if any, and if any man's seed of copulation, that sperm, go out from him, he come, and then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. So if you um you, if your copulations come from your body as a man on the Sabbath day, you unclean until the evening. You unclean until the evening. You unclean until the evening. So if you have sex or you masturbate, whatever you do on the Sabbath day. From this to Sabbath right now, right? From you have a this, you get off class, you go and you do your thing, whatever. You unclean until the evening, tomorrow evening. So the whole Sabbath day, you unclean. You before everybody, you coming to everybody, you unclean. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation, your sperm comes out of your body and it touches clothes or anything shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening, until the next evening. You see? You're going to be unclean until the next evening. So it's a Sabbath. You unclean on the Sabbath. You understand? The woman also with whom man shall lie with, seed of copulation, meaning his sperm go into this woman's womb, they shall both bathe themselves in water. You're supposed to wash yourself after you have sex and be unclean until the evening. Come on. If you have sex on the Sabbath day, you unclean that whole Sabbath day. Straight up. The Most High said, not doing thy pleasure. He said, on my holy day. And don't get it twisted. Since we're in Leviticus, let's go a few chapters, go to Leviticus 23rd chapter. Let's see what it says there. Just so you know that this the Most High's holy day. Leviticus 23:1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Most High. He said, my holy day, right? The feast of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, meaning holy gatherings. Even these are my feasts, right? So now he's going to let you know that these feasts are Sabbath days, because he said, 6 days shall work be done. 6 days shall work be done. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation, holy gathering. The seventh day. Like we're in the seventh day now. Just look at a calendar and they didn't change the days. They just added their Greek names to the days, which are idols, that we're not supposed to be saying. We said the first day to the seventh day. We can do that. That's what we're doing here at Seal of Wisdom. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day. And we remind each other that's why we honor those days, and call out those days. That's where it got to start somewhere. You can do the same thing instead of calling these Greek gods, It says 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings, right? These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocation, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons, okay? So these feast days are Sabbath days, okay? But now when we have feast days that's like we just went through the Feast of Tabernacles, the first day and the last day is the holy convocation when we come together. All those days in between are like regular days. We just feast and have a good time, whatever. But the first day and the last day are Sabbath days. And you got to honor them just like we doing right now on the Sabbath day. You're not having sex on the Sabbath day. That's why I say not doing thy pleasure. The things that you desire to do, what you normally would do, you don't do that. Especially having sex. You're not supposed to do that on the Sabbath day. Nobody tell you no different. You can't get the Most High. That's what I'm saying. Who really about the Most High? Talk to me. Hmm? You can't give him one day. That's what he asking for, one day. Like he can say all the men supposed to come together 3 days of the year. Feast of the unleavened bread and feast of Pentecost or ingathering of feast of weeks and the feast of the tabernacles. 3 times. That's all he asking. For all males to come, and you got to come together those 3 days and make sure that we on point, man. Or I tell you, I mean, you look at what he say gonna do to the nations. Let me show you. You look at what he gonna say he gonna do to the nations. Go to um Zechariah 14th chapter. I'll read verse 16. It says, And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations, because there's going to be nations that's going to have to be going to the kingdom, which came against Jerusalem, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the power of hosts, power of armies, of angels, and to keep the feast of tabernacles. Hear this? This is how important this is. All the nations gonna come that's left, that remains, that's gonna be in our kingdom. They're gonna come and worship the King, the power of host of angel, army of angels, and to keep the feast of tabernacles. These other nations. Look what he said he's gonna do. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the power of hosts, power of angels, army of angels, I might say, even upon him shall be no rain. Ain't gonna be no blessing. Not only that, he said, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, that have no blessing, there shall be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite, kill the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. So what you think? You think it's not important? This is very, very important, man. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. They gonna be blessed, and he gonna kill them. That's what we just read. So what you think he gonna do to us? While we rehearsing right now, this is how serious this is. You can't take this lightly, y'all. That's why we gotta look at it. You know, you have to, like I say, this is what? Changing. Can't remain the same. You think the Most High just gonna give you just and the third, or just overlook things that we're dealing with? No. We're the examples. We're the examples of how it's supposed to be. We have to do what's right to the best of our ability. And we got to be there for each other to make sure that we, like I say, helping each other to be the best we can be. Isaiah 58:13 again, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, it's the Most High's holy day. Ain't nothing more pleasurable than having sex. Get out of here. And call the Sabbath a delight in the things that you normally do, that you delight in doing. Supposed to be in this word. Look what he said. Call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him. Honor the Most High. But yeah, people ain't talking about the Most High. They talking about Israel, talking about us. And the people come in, they want to hear about us. That's all they care about is us. What you got for me? What you gonna do for me? But it say honor him. How you fit into that? We don't fit into that. Bing, see somebody leaving. Honor him. I ain't got to honor him. Bing, they out. Not doing thine own ways, not doing your own ways. The things we normally do. Nor finding thine own pleasure, not finding your own pleasure. Like having sex. Let it go for one day. Nor speaking thine own words. You just heard what it said. You unclean. You have sex on the Sabbath, you unclean that whole Sabbath. Straight up. You sit up there unclean. Filthy, nasty self. As the Most High would say. Not speaking thine own words. You ain't supposed to be speaking your own words. It's supposed to be in this Bible. And when you do it, say, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High. Not in yourself. He say, then you're going to delight yourself in the Most High. And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High has spoken it. You better hear what he's saying. Simple as that. It's not a hard thing to do. It's just a matter of where your discipline at. Where your care for the Most High at. When he come and say, hey, you know better. Especially if you've been in this truth for a minute, you should know better. That's why it tells you, going back to 2 Timothy 3 and verse 4. It say traitors, people just not to be trusted because they traitors, sell you out. Heady, high-minded, prideful, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. Lovers of pleasures, lovers of doing the things that they normally do on a Sabbath day instead of in the word of the Most High and refraining themselves from, you know, sexual intercourse more than lovers of the Most High. You say they more than lovers of the Most High. You can't say you love the Most High. He telling you what to do. He's telling you that you're unclean from evening to evening, and you can't stop doing whatever you do for one day for him. Look, having a form of righteousness, they have a form of righteousness. They sound righteous, but denying the power thereof. You hear that? Denying the power of doing what the Most High say do to be righteous, and that's keeping his laws and commandments. From such turn away, it said. You know? They such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, women that's laden with sins, breaking the laws of the Most High. Well, I can get them led away with diverse different lusts. That's the problem, the lust demon. Gotta really look at this. Gonna say ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. That's what it said. Ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because if you have the knowledge of the truth, then you're gonna think about what the truth says. And what I look like all these years I've been in the truth, and then I'm just dealing with whatever it is that my flesh want me to do. I'm gonna let it override the spirit at this time in my life. A lot of us been in this truth for a long time, man. Much is given, much is required. You gotta look at it. You're getting near. That's why I say first should be last, last shall be first. When you that's coming in, you should be able to listen and learn and be that first. You don't have to make the mistakes that everybody else made. But you got to go through it. You got to go through it. And we supposed to be there together to go through it together. So you're not by yourself. But when you by yourself and you're going to deal with being by yourself. The Most High going to deal with you. Why should you suffer? As much as you're going to suffer. Because we're not going to the kingdom without persecution. It ain't offered like it don't talk about that. I don't read that. Everybody, everyone, everyone went through. Matter of fact, go back to Second Timothy's the third chapter. Matter of fact, verse 12 says, "Yeah, and all that will live righteously, but Shama Mashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution." You hear that? You want to live righteous, you're gonna suffer persecution. I apply this something like so similar to Mashiach Yahushai because we go out there and teach, and somebody always come up and they're against what we teach because they've been programmed to believe in crisp insanity, some type of religious type of mindset that they program us from slavery all the way to now. You know, they have a doctrine that they came up with in 1620 called the Religious Instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America. Until this day, you know, it's in effect. The religion is in effect. These religions that's dealing with pagan idols and allow the pagans to come in for your crisp insanity. And the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD under wicked Constantine said, "Hey, we got the pagans over there. They believe in, they worship the sun on the first day of the week. Let's bring them in with their idols and everything and just combine them together for this crisp insanity, what y'all dealing with. And y'all following, most I said, never trust thine enemy. And they want to set it up, and that's what you following. Or prove me wrong. They're not dealing with the truth of this Bible. They don't even consider who talk about 12 tribes. Who talk about the Most High, period. Who? They ain't talk about the Most High. They say the Most High is Mashiach Yahushua, Mashiach Yahushua, the Most High. Christ insanity. That's insane. He praying to himself, right? Yes. When he's on earth in the flesh, he's praying to himself, right? Yeah. Come on, man. That's insane, man. That's why I say, verse 13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. That's what has happened. We've been seduced. I haven't been, but a lot of people have been seduced, man. But it said, evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. See, they're gonna be deceiving and being deceived themselves. They deceive first and foremost by these religions and so forth, or the doctrine that they really say, turn to your neighbor and say, you've been programmed to say certain things, but when it comes down to what this Bible is really talking about, they're against the Most High. They ain't with the Most High, they anti-Most High. Anti-Mashiach Yahushua. Talking about to be a Christian means you Christ-like. How you Christ-like and you're not doing what he said do? He said, you love me, keep my commandments. That's what he said. If you love me, keep my commandments, right? Are you keeping the commandments of the Most High? No, they're not keeping the commandments of the Most High. He said we're not under the law. Religions say. We under grace. And they don't even know that grace and mercy is only for the Israelites, period. Grace and mercy for his saints, and the saints are the children of Israel. Psalms 148:14, all day long, all night long, 24/7. That's who the saints are, the children of Israel, people near unto the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. Point blank. I mean, come on. Why is that? But evil men, this is 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men shall seduce, and seducers shall wax worse and worse. You hear that? Deceiving and being deceived. Deceiving, they was deceived, first and foremost, and they're going to deceive those that's going to be deceived, the simple-minded people. You understand? That's why you look at people that's dealing with Christian insanity, they don't really have the spirit of the Most High, because they say there ain't no Most High. The Most High don't exist. Because they only believe in the Mashiach Yahushua. They think that when I say Jesus Christ, I won't say Mashiach Yahushua. They ain't not using that. They didn't say Jesus Christ. And that's the so-called white man they set up after they, came up with that picture that Michelangelo drew of Caesar Borgia. You know what I mean? They just named him Jesus. That's what they named. The Mashiach Yahushua name wasn't no Jesus. He ain't coming back with no Jesus Christ. He ain't come back with the name Jesus Christ. Come on. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Better be knowing who you learn them from. Hope you got the spirit of the Most High. While Mashiach Yahushua. Very important. Proverbs 15, Proverbs 15th chapter, verse 1. Proverbs 15. Proverbs 15:1. It says, a soft answer, brothers, turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. You see? He said, a soft answer turneth away wrath. Sometimes you have to utilize, so I said, utilize these scriptures. A lot of times, it's been like, I've been in battles with, people just, they got spirits on them. And I just use this scripture. I remember the scripture. I said, I have a soft answer for them. And then they calm down. They calm down. But grievous words, if I just go to the spirit the way they are, then that's going to be grievous. Going to stir up anger. They're going to get angry. Next thing you know, we could be fighting or whatever. That's why you follow this. And if it go, into it doesn't work, then you got to apply what it is that you got to deal with next. It said the tongue of the wise uses knowledge. All right. The tongue, the words that you use of the wise having wisdom, You're going to use this knowledge that you have received, which is the proper information that you have received, right? You're going to use it right, in the right way. It say, but the mouth of fools pour out foolishness. You see? That's why I say you got to learn it, live and apply it. And you got to think about what it is. Remember, we read earlier. Remember, we read about when we first started this lesson, in Ecclesiastes 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High that we read about, and is occupied to the meditation thereof, you're thinking about what this Bible is talking about, and his laws will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. You'll know about this, man. You see that this is what the Most High has told us to work for us. His instruction, his guidance, his guidance. It says, Proverbs 15:3, the eyes of the Most High are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. You hear that? The eyes of the Most High are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. I mean, how you look at it, it tell you in let me find it. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 23:19. Remember, it said the eyes of the Most High are upon every place, man. Beholding the evil and the good. Those that are evil and the good. The Most High see that. He see you. Especially you don't see me, people. He see you. It says in Ecclesiasticus 23:19, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You hear that? We can't even look at the sun, but the Most High eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. But you don't see me, people. The Most High see you. That's why he say, the eyes of the Most High, Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of the Most High are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. You know, perverseness, when you perverse, man, contrary to wholesome words and so forth, is a breach in the spirit, man. Have people feeling real bad. Zechariah 7:9. Zechariah 7:9. Zechariah 7:9. We can start at verse 8. And the word of the Most High came unto Zechariah, saying, thus speaketh the Most High power of hosts. When you say host, that means power of army of angels, saying, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. Hear that? Hear that, brothers? Execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. Now we brothers, though we not in the same camp. We brothers, though we not in the same church. We brothers, though we not in the same assembly of people. We still brothers, man. We Israelites. Look, execute true judgment and show mercy. Mercy is what? Not getting something you do deserve to get. Remember we read in Romans 12. Let's read it again, because a lot of y'all just coming in. Y'all on the late show. Let's read what it said. You can go through this whole lesson. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, Romans 12:1, by the mercies, not mercy, but the mercies of the Most High. You hear that? That means not getting something that you do deserve to get, or we do deserve to get many times, that the Most High have mercies on us. That's what it's telling you, the mercies of the Most High. Now, he just tells us to have mercy on a brother. One mercy. He have mercies on us. And here he's telling us, hey, Zechariah 7:9, thus speaketh the most high power of hosts, power of army of angels. What did he say? He said, saying, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassions, every man to his brother. You gotta feel and love your brothers, man. You can't and oppress not the widow, those women that have lost their husbands, nor the fatherless, those that don't have their father anymore in this life, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. Hear that? Let none of us imagine evil against their brother in their mind. Most High say, hey, wait for me till I rise up to the prey. He gonna bring the vengeance. But they refuse to hearken. Here he told us this, man. We refuse to listen and pulled away the shoulder. I ain't gonna hear that. I want to hear that. Like some of you probably do right now. Pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears, cover their ears up, that they should not hear. This is what we did. This is what we did. But we want the Most High to come through for us and everything that we ask him for. And he telling us, giving us clear instructions. And we pull back the shoulder and stop their ears that they should not hear. Yeah, they made their hearts, which is your mind, as an adamant stone. Hard, man. Hard-hearted. Hard-minded. Lest they should hear the law. Hear that? Lest they should hear the law. Lest we could hear the law. That's what our people don't like. They don't like to be told that we under the Most High's law. They pulled back their shoulders, covered their ears up, and made their minds hard as an adamant stone. It said, lest they should hear the law. That's how important this is, y'all. This ain't nothing new. We've been like this. And the words which the Most High power of hosts, power of army of angels have sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Most High power of hosts. He brought his wrath on us from the Most High power of army of angels. Hey, don't get it twisted now. Y'all better understand this. That's how he operates. He bought the army of angels to bring forth his wrath. Now look what it says here in Ecclesiastes 39:28. He said, there be spirits. These are angels. When you read Psalms 104:4, so he making his angels spirits. So it might say spirit, it might say angel, it might say spirits, it might say angels. He make his spirits, which are angels, that are created. There be spirits, that are created for vengeance. This is the wrath of the Most High. They bring for the wrath of the Most High, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. What did we just see? What did it say? In Zechariah 7:12. The last sentence says, therefore came a great wrath from the Most High power of hosts. Therefore came a great wrath from who? The Most High power of army of angels. Now we reading about this army of angels, what they do. In Ecclesiastes 39:28, there be spirits or angels that are created for vengeance of the Most High, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. They appease the wrath of the Most High. And that wrath, like you just said in Zechariah 7:12, therefore came a great wrath from the Most High power of hosts, power of army of angels upon us. Now here, who did he use to do it? Here it is right here. Verse 29, what are these spirits of vengeance? Fire and hell and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance of the Most High. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. This is what it says. They shall rejoice in his commandments. Hear that? These spirits, these angels, going to rejoice in his commandment to bring forth the forces, the wrath of the Most High. And they shall be ready upon earth. Where they at? They right here on the earth. They shall be ready upon earth when need is, whenever the Most High need them. They right here on the earth. And when their time has come, they shall not transgress his word. See, they're in order. They're not going to transgress his word. That's why it said what? In Zechariah 7:12, the last sentence. Therefore came a great wrath from the Most High power of hosts on us, we the Israelites, through them angels, through them spirits that we just read about. That's where they at on the earth, waiting for the commandment of the Most High, and they not going to transgress his word. They're going to do just what he told them to do. Verse 13, Zechariah 7:13. Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, we made him cry. We made him cry. We made the Most High cry. Wonder what that's like. You know, what kind of thunderstorm was that? He said the heavens can't contain him. His throne is inestimable. What kind of storm is that? We making him cry. Could rain be him crying? Thunderstorms be him crying? He said, therefore it has come to pass as he cried, and they would not hear. We didn't want to listen. They cried. So now we cried as the children of Israel, and I would not hear, said the Most High power of hosts. He cried to us over and over again, sending the prophets. Matter of fact, man, you jacked up. 2 Ezra 1:32. Look, he said, I sent unto you my servants, the prophets. This is 2 Ezra 1:32. Whom we have taken and slain. We killed the prophets. Not only that, and torn their bodies in pieces. I got to keep reminding you of who we are and what we did. And yet still, the Most High is supposed to be so overwhelmed with us. He rose up early to send the prophets, man, and we killed them and tore their bodies to pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, said the Most High. That's what we did. We tore the prophets' bodies in pieces. And here we are now, just learning how to read. All of a sudden now we all this and all that, man. Like the Most High have to bring us into the kingdom because we done learn some dang on precepts or something, man. You better understand, man. We offended the Most High big time. That's why he said, Zechariah 7:14. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations, whom they knew not. That's us. Scattered them, that them is us. We the 12 tribes of Israel. Among these nations that we didn't even know. Thus the land was desolate after them. And no man passed through, nor returned. But they laid the pleasant land desolate. And that's where I looked when I was there, man. It was like miles and miles and miles and miles of what the Most High said he was going to do in making the land desolate. Beautiful land. Nothing's growing on it. It's just desolate because we broke the laws of the Most High and he got rid of us, man. Kicked us out the land. You think we care? We sit there thinking that he owe us. He don't owe us nothing. But prove, say he do. Which one you gonna say he do? He owe you something because whoever you think you are. We ain't nothing as we ought to be, man. You hear what he just said, man? He cried, man. And we wouldn't even listen. So we cried, he said he ain't gonna listen to us. He ain't gonna even hear us. And that's the only time he had pity on us. Show you that. Judges 10:10. I remember when the Spirit showed me this in the 90s, man, brother was talking about like preached out while I'm saying, I ain't said nothing. I ain't said nothing but what the scriptures say. Straight up. I ain't said nothing. Say what I said. I ain't said nothing but what it says here. Judges 10:10. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, saying, we have sinned against thee. This was marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. We have sinned against him, both because we have forsaken you, our power, and also serve Baalim. Come on now. Like it is today. That Baal is Lord. Since it came out against it, against the spirit of the Most High, say I got to bring it out again because that's the first word in Bible dictionaries. Look, Baal. Can y'all see that? Baal. You see what it means? Lord. You see that? And this is the elite's God. That's their power. That's who they believe in. And this is who they have us believing in and calling on that name. You understand? Which represents Lord. And they put it in the Bible, so we still saying it, and you calling on that name. And the reason why I'm spelling it because of Exodus 23:13. Exodus 23:13. These are the things that the Most High showed me, man. When I went into Hosea 5:15, he said, I'm going to go to my place until we acknowledge our offense. And when I got to offense, I couldn't get past that. I mean, we were just offending this way, that way, that way, all kind of ways, from the garden all the way to now. Look what it says. Exodus 23:13. I digress. It said, and in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, be cautious, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. You see? So we ain't supposed to be naming these other gods. And they had us, they know that we were in captivity for our iniquity. So what you think they're going to do? They're going to continue to have us do the wrong thing so that they're thinking that their kingdom going to last and the Most High not going to have favor with us, but we coming out of that. I just want y'all to understand, man. You can't say this not going to work. Go through these scriptures to make it mean something different. That's what I want you to do. Go through the scriptures and say you can call on these other names of these gods. And the Most High ain't gonna deal, the Most High not gonna deal with you. And you know what it says right there. It says, and the children of Israel cried unto the Most High. Judges 10:10. Cried unto the Most High, saying, we have sinned against thee, both because we have forsaken our power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We say that's his name forever and more to all generations, and also serve Baalim. What I just showed you, what they put in the Bible is Lord. Stop calling on that name, man. That's Baal. In all different forms and fashions, still the same thing. And the Most High said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians? Look how many people who was in captivity under. From the Egyptians and from the Amorites, from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines, the Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, and the Maonites did oppress you, and ye cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Look, you gotta hear this because I'm here because Moses said, when he cried, we ain't listen to him. So when we cry, he ain't gonna listen to us. He won't hear. And that's the only time that he delivered us. What's your method now? Does he say when we cry, he ain't gonna hear us? What's your solution now? Because we looking at right here. All these people oppressed us. We in captivity on all these nations that he bring about right here. The Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, and the Maonites did oppress you, and ye cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. We only got to cry one time. It got to be a stronger cry than what we've been doing. Tell you that. You better understand that ye have forsaken me and served other gods until this day, and don't even realize it. See, you've been deceived. And when you see these things, you got to change. You got to change. And that's what it's all about. From when we started this lesson, it's about what? Transforming your mind changing your way you think. Come on. This ain't a hard thing to stop offending the Most High. Or go to the throne of the Most High and say, you can call on B-A-A-L, B-A-A-L-I-M, all of a whole lot of B-A-A-Ls. And the Most High going to accept you. He going to see it's okay. Bashama Mashiach Yahushua. If you think it's okay, it's not okay, y'all. I'm telling you. Through the spirit of everything that's in me, I'm telling you, man. I mean, this brotherhood love. And all of us gonna meet the judgment of the most high while Mashiach Yahushua. And we're gonna have to give account. Especially we leaders. We that's been dealing with, teaching this word to our nation and other nations too. He said, yet ye have forsaken me, verse 13, and serve other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. He said, go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. So I'm telling you, what do you say? Go cry to B-A-A-L. Go cry to your L-O-R-D that you keep saying. And you've been told that I'm offended by that. That's not me. That represents B-A-A-L. You see it's in every Bible dictionary. The first definition that come with B-A-A-L is, let me see. I got another one here. This is the New Unger's Bible Dictionary. Let's see what it says here. But y'all don't believe me. Oh, let's see. Oh, there it is right there. See it right there? That's the first word. You're going to see with the letter B. Ain't no word before B-A and another A. You see that? Huh? Talk to me. Maybe I'll get some more dictionaries and look up B-A-A-L. It means L-O-R-D. And they put it in the Bible so you be calling on their God. He said, go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. And we know, if you're an Israelite, been in this, you know Jacob's trouble is at hand. It's coming. And what does the Most High say? Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. What if you tell us that, man? That's hard even reading it. Understand. It's hard. That's hard even reading that. And the children of Israel said unto the Most High, we have sinned again. You better learn how to say it. I know I'm saying we have sinned. We have sinned. Ain't nobody say they ain't sinned. That was marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. You not marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. You tell about you ain't never sinned. You don't sin. You say we have sinned. We have sinned. Even if you didn't sin, we have sinned. Regardless. You can sin and don't even know it. That's why I ask for forgiveness for your sins. He said, what do we say to the Most High? We have sinned. You see, just solutions. That's what our ancestors did. We have sinned. Do thou unto us whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Deliver us only. We pray thee this day. And they put away the strange gods. They put away L-O-R-D. They put away B-A-A-L. They put away A-M-E-N, which is Z-E-U-S last name. The Greek god, Z-E-U-S last name that most people don't even know. Come on, I'm telling you. Put them away. Stop saying it at the end of your prayer. You're going to say, in the name of Jesus Christ, if that's who you're calling on. A-M-E-N, is that his name? That what you're saying? In the name of Jesus Christ, A-M-E-N. That's his name? That what you're saying? Think about it. And they put away the strange gods from among them and served the Most High. That's what we got to do, serve the Most High. And his soul was grieved for the misery of Israel. You ain't putting away them strange gods, them idols that they got you calling on. Think about it. If they take scriptures away out of the Bible, away from the Bible, you think they put something in the Bible? And they have control of the Bible. That's why the Most High said this in Lamentations 4 and 22. Who have the power? Who is it that, matter of fact, who is it that put themselves in the Bible representing the Most High and a Mashiach Yahushua. You have to have power to be able to do that. It is not everybody, it's the so-called white man, the Edomites, that have control over publishing these Bibles, the number one book, number one selling book in the world, right? They have control of it. So now when you look at Lamentation 4:22, it said what? The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. We the daughter of Zion, the 12 tribes of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. No matter what you hear, rumors you hear, whatever, he said he don't carry us no more away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, your wickedness, O daughter of Edom, so-called white man. He will discover thy sins. You're going to discover their sins. Because Esau is the end of the world. 2 Ezra 6:9 says. And Jacob's the beginning of it, that follower. So they're going to be ruling when in the end of the world. He's going to discover their sins. I mean, who got the Bible? Who printed the Bible in all these different languages? Israelites? Hmm? The Japanese? The Chinese? The Arabs? Who? Talk to me. That's why they're going to visit their sins. There it is. Simple as that. You all right? And shalom to everyone. Shabbat shalom, everyone. It's coming in. I got one like. Give a like. Give us a like. Nobody like these lessons I'll be bringing out. Come on, give us a like. Um, Look at Proverbs 16 and 5. Proverbs 16 and 5. Everyone that is proud in heart, every one of you that's proud in your mind is an abomination to the Most High. Everyone that is proud in heart, everyone that's proud in their mind, think they are that, is an abomination to the Most High. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Hear that? That's why you know you're prideful, man. You're going to get you. You're going to get you, man. Verse 7 says, when a man's ways please the Most High, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. And the only way you're going to please the Most High is to do what he say do. Simple as that. If a man ways please the Most High, and you ain't talking about him, how you please the Most High? He not even in your conversation. So how you please the Most High? Hmm? How you please the Most High and you're not doing what he say do? Like my Shai said, go to St. John 14:15. St. John 14:15. 43 new messages. St. John 14:15. If you love me, he said, keep my commandments. You love me, he said, keep the commandments. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. Because he was the ultimate sacrifice. But he said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Luke 6:46. I think that's what I want. Luke 6:46. So you say you love him, then you're supposed to be Christ-like, Mashiachim, then why you ain't not doing what he's told us to do? That's what he said. Luke 6:46. He said, and why call me a Mashiach and do not the things which I say? He said, why you call me your savior and do not the things that I tell you to do? What did he tell you to do? What did he just tell you to do? He said, if you love me, do what? Keep my commandments. But people want to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. St. John 9:31. St. John 9:31. Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners. So when people say that we're not under the law, they're not following the laws. The Most High ain't hearing them. Most High heareth not sinners. So we got to define sin. That came up a few times in this lesson. 1 John 3:4. So you know what sinner is. 1 John 3:4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law that the Most High wrote with his finger. When we read that in Deuteronomy 9:10. Sin is the transgression of the law. So if you a sinner, that means you transgress the laws of the Most High. Now, going back to St. John, the 9th chapter, the 31st verse, it said, now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners. That's in the New Testament. If you breaking the laws of the Most High, he ain't hearing you. You transgressing the commandments of the Most High, he not hearing you. Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of the Most High and doeth his will, you keep his laws. 1 John 5:3 says, for this the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and commandments are not grievous. And doeth his will, which is keeping his commandments, him he heareth. Come on. Don't hear everybody, man. That's why Malachi 2:7. Malachi, the 2nd chapter, 7th verse. For the priest's lip should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. You hear that? That's what we're bringing forth what this word is saying, and the law also. For he is the messenger of the Most High power of hosts. You see? But ye, you poked up eating preachers and all you that's out there not dealing with the laws of the Most High, are just departed out of the way. You part out of the way. And I showed you is St. John 14:6. What do he say? I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the way to show you how to follow the law, such commandments of the Most High, which is the truth that's going to lead to everlasting life. He said, no man come to the Father but by me. And there's no New Testament. There's only the law and the prophet when he's walking on the earth in the flesh, straight up. But ye are departed out of the way. Malachi 2:8. You have caused many to stumble at the law. You hear that? Especially when you that say that we not under the law. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi, said the Most High power of hosts. It said, therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people. If you're not there yet, he said he's going to make you contemptible and base below all the people. Before all the people, man, going to bring you down. Like you see a lot of these preachers, man, they going down, man. You better come and learn what we teaching. According as ye have not kept my ways, which is his laws, but have been partial in the law. You see? They've been partial in the laws of the Most High. He took the time to give us 613 laws, man. And all the laws don't pertain to everyone. But still, you got to learn, live, and apply them in your life, or whatever it is that applies to a man, whatever applies to a woman, whatever applies to the children. And we, the men, got to learn all of it so we can direct our nation and be that light to everyone. Deuteronomy 1:7. Deuteronomy, the 1st chapter. Let's read verse 1. Who is Deuteronomy talking to? These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan and the wilderness. You see? So he's talking to the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 7. Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites and unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites. That's the land that he gave us. And unto Lebanon, unto the great river and the river Euphrates. Our land is much vast than what it is that you see that they over there now. And behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Most High sware unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. And I spake unto you at that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. The Most High your power have multiplied you, and behold, ye are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. 600,000 men, 600,000 men, army men, was the Most High your power have multiplied you, and behold, ye are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. Most High our power of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as ye are, and bless you as he hath promised you. How can I myself alone bear your comforts and your burden and your strife? you know, because Israel was really, really going against, you know, they think like right now, people think they're going against the man of the Most High, but they really thought they was going against Moses and Aaron, but they really going against the Most High, and he hear it, and he writing it down. It's being put in the books, and when the books is open, then it's gonna be in there. And God to give an answer, for real, for real. Um, Look at Proverbs 25. I'm just about finished. Yeah, Proverbs 25 and 21. See, the Most High promised that land. He promised to put us back in our land again. Proverbs 25 and 21. That's what this is all about. Him, the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, and us, the 12 tribes of Israel. He told us this. He said, Proverbs 25 and 21. We're looking at brotherhood, love of the Israelites. This is what it says. Proverbs 25:21. If thy enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. Give him something to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. He thirsty, give him some water to drink. He said, for thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Most High shall reward thee. You see that? It takes a certain spirit to do this, though. You got to be spiritual to do this. Because most people have a problem saying, they ain't helping you at all. I ain't doing nothing for them. Be glad to see you fall. Be glad to see someone that they looking at, having hard times, whatever. They look for them to fall. That's not what the Most High telling us to do. You're not spiritual if you like that. You're not going to follow what it is that He's telling us to do. Look what it says. Because generally the enemy could be those that are not, trying to follow the law, statutes, commandments, or those that do. And he tells us in 2 Ezra 9 and 13, it says, and therefore be thou not curious how the unrighteous shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. That's why we got to be steady looking at how to be righteous, because the world was made for us. I tell you that. The whole world was made for us. Um, the Israelites, you see, and since the world was made for us, we got to look at what it is that we got to do to be in this world that's created, that's already prepared for us. The world is already prepared for us. It's just a matter of us getting ourselves together in the right love of the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, and each other, so that we qualify to make it to the kingdom. Look at Proverbs 25, verse 27. It is not good to eat much honey. So for men to search their own glory is not glory. You hear that? For men to search their own glory is not glory. That's why he said in Proverbs 27:2, he said, let another man praise thee. You looking to be somebody in this damn nation. He said, let another man praise thee and not thine own mouth. You know, bragging about yourself. That's abomination to the Most High. Most High is the power. That's who the power. You only can say something because he allowed you to have breath in your body to be able to say anything. Better give him the glory. Let another man praise thee and not thine own mouth. A stranger and not thine own lips. Hear that? That's what works with the Most High. Proverbs 9 and 8. Proverbs 9 and 8. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Hear that? Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. You know? And that's real talk. That's what we be doing. We'll be going out, man. These scoffers, man, people going against the word. And they say we hate you, but they end up hating us for bringing forth what the truth is. That's what I said, prove not a scorner, which is a scoffer, somebody going against the word, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. You know? Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. That's why, I did a lesson on you got to learn how to take correction. But if you're not a wise man, you just like a scorner. You're gonna hate someone that try and show you the right way to better you. You know, nobody that you know that's a teacher right now from One West wasn't told what to do, wasn't checked on something to make sure that they was going the right way. Period. All of us. Reprove not a scorner unless he hates thee. Rebuke a wise man. You tell a wise man the ways that he's off, and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. You teach a just man, he's going to increase in learning. But those that are not, they'll remain the same. And the wrath of the Most High going to come upon them. Simple as that. Don't take a rocket science to figure that out, y'all. But with that, I'm gonna sit down and we'll keep it moving until I see you again. I'll say Krum Abanawa Yahweh, Krum Mashiach Yahushai, and Krum Yashurella, and I'm out. Shalom.